There's a lie that most of us have been taught since we were kids. Maybe not directly, but we absorbed it all the same. It sounds like this: your body is just a tool, just a vessel. Mind over matter. Power through. Does that sound familiar? And we believed it. We lived it. Well, some of us still do. We learn to treat the body as something separate from who we are, like a machine we're supposed to push, fix, or silence when it misbehaves. If it's tired, caffeine. If it's hurting, push through. If it's anxious, distract. If it's grieving, numb it. If it's breaking down, shame it. And it works for a while. You keep going. You stay productive. You hold it all together until one day your body starts to speak louder. And you realize you weren't outrunning it, you were only postponing it. I know this because I've done it. As a martial artist, I used to be proud of myself for always toughing it out when I had injuries. I thought I was being strong by ignoring my body's signals. I thought if I could just manage my mindset, I could override the tension in my chest, the knot in my stomach, the waves of exhaustion that didn't make sense. I pride myself on how much I could carry emotionally, mentally, even spiritually. But the truth is, my body always knew when I wasn't okay, even when I convinced myself I was. It whispered first: quiet aches, restlessness, subtle anxiety. Then it got louder: burnout, inflammation, a shoulder injury that came out of nowhere. And eventually, it screamed. Not to punish me, though, but to wake me up. That was the moment I realized my body wasn't the obstacle, it was the messenger. And I had been ignoring its messages for years. And my shoulder pain eventually led to my spiritual epiphany. I've shared this story over 2 videos, and I'll put a link below in the description box if you're curious. But I'm not saying you should tough it out to get to your spiritual awakening. Quite the opposite. I hope you don't have to suffer more like I did. If this feels close to your heart, maybe you've been there too. Maybe you're there now. Maybe you've told yourself, I'm just tired. When the truth was, your soul was depleted. Maybe you've said, I'm just busy, when deep down, you were terrified of what might rise to the surface if you slowed down. Maybe you've learned to tune out your body because listening to it, it would mean finally facing what you've been avoiding. Is that right? I get it. We were never taught how to listen to the body. We were taught to override it. We were taught that rest is lazy, that productivity equals worth, that pushing through pain is noble, that emotions are irrational, that sensations in the body are distractions from real work. And so we adapt. We become masters at detachment. We live in our heads. We overthink, we perform, we intellectualize our feelings instead of feeling them. Let me tell you, I was real good at that. But the body keeps score. It stores everything you didn't have the safety or support to process. And when you ignore your body's messages long enough, they don't disappear. They morph, they deepen, they manifest. That tightness in your throat becomes chronic fatigue. That gut feeling you ignored becomes digestive issues. That emotional suppression becomes insomnia or chronic pain or anxiety you can't explain. Because the body always remembers. The myth is that the mind leads and the body follows. But the truth is, the body is always the first to know. It feels when you're not in alignment. It reacts when you're out of integrity with yourself. It senses when you're betraying your truth, even if your brain hasn't caught up yet. And the moment I stopped seeing my body as a thing to manage and started seeing it as an ally, everything changed. I stopped forcing myself to meditate the right way and started listening to when my body wanted stillness and when it wanted movement. I stopped eating what I thought was healthy and started asking my body what actually felt nourishing. Not what Instagram said, not what the wellness blog said, but what my body needed. And I began noticing the tension that I used to ignore held grief. The pressure in my chest carried unspoken fears. The heaviness in my limbs was not laziness, it was sadness I hadn't allowed myself to feel. When you ignore your body's messages, you cut off the most honest part of you. Your body doesn't lie. It doesn't care about performance. It doesn't care about appearances. It's not concerned with what others expect. It only speaks the truth. And it speaks in sensation, in stillness, in restlessness, in craving, in resistance, in tears that come for no reason, in exhaustion that no amount of sleep seems to fix. So when something in you feels off, even if you can't explain it, that's real, that's valid, and it matters. Don't ignore it. You're not too sensitive. You're not dramatic. You're not making it up. You're just finally noticing what your body has been trying to say. Sometimes it says, please slow down. Sometimes it says, this place isn't safe. Sometimes it says, that person isn't good for us. Or sometimes it says, this path doesn't align anymore. And yes, it takes courage to listen. Because listening to your body often means facing things you've worked hard to avoid. It might mean unlearning years of survival conditioning. It might mean resting when you feel guilty for not doing. It might mean leaving spaces that once felt familiar but now feel constricting. Or it might mean grieving the version of you that tolerated what you've now outgrown. But the longer you ignore your body, the more disconnected you become from your truth, from your heart. Because your truth doesn't live in your to-do list. It doesn't live in your achievements. It lives in your felt experience, in the quiet knowing beneath the noise. And when you begin to truly listen, you realize that your body isn't something you have to fight. It's something you get to come home to. You realize that healing isn't a performance. It's a remembering, a coming back to the part of you that never stopped feeling, the part of you that wants to be free. You realize that the pain wasn't the enemy, the ignoring was. That symptoms were signals, that discomfort was information, that every ache, every fatigue, every flare up was a doorway, an invitation to return to yourself. And that's what this journey is about. Not controlling the body, but reconnecting with it, learning its language, making space for its wisdom, trusting that even when it hurts, it's still guiding you. I know it can be hard to trust your body when it's been through trauma, when it's carried you through pain, betrayal, illness, loss, when it's been dismissed, judged, or violated, when it's felt like a battlefield. But your body is also where your power lives, where your intuition lives, where your joy lives, where your freedom lives. And you don't have to fix it to be worthy of listening. You just have to start noticing. Start by asking, where does my body feel tight today? What part of me feels heavy? What part feels numb? What is the sensation trying to say? And then listen. Not with urgency, not to fix or analyze, just to hear, to hold, to honor. Even if nothing changes right away, you've already begun healing. Because listening is healing. Presence is medicine. Compassion is alchemy. You are not separate from your body. You are your body. You are your breath. You are this moment, this inhale, this exhale. And there is wisdom in all of it. So the next time something in you feels off, don't rush to silence it. Don't numb it. Don't shame it. Get curious. Get quiet. Get close. Because your body is not the problem. It's the messenger. And it's time to listen. If you like to heal with me, you can find my second Instagram account at Soul Whispers Journal, where I share daily healing journal with you. Feel free to also follow my main Instagram account at Inner Dragon Wisdom. I'll see you in the next video.